Welcome. What a great day. And on the very last of our season of Art of Dining, it's been a blistering success. I think these get better in some ways every year. We certainly have no trouble filling the seats, which always makes me very, very happy. And it's lovely that our tea today is prepared by Doris Whitehead and Friends. Doris, as many of you know, was the big idea originator of the tea series back in the 1990s. It's always been a volunteer-led and produced program. In the earliest days, they would meet, they would give out assignments, they would do research, and they would prepare original papers on Frederic Remington from scratch. And I think in some ways, I kind of miss that. Maybe our docents can come up with a research presentation program that's separate from the tea series. But I love the way we've developed this, drawing on the already existing expertise and talents of people far and wide from the community who generously donate their time and energies to us for these wonderful, diverse presentations. I want to draw so thank you, Doris, as always, and your friends.
Thanks a lot.
I want to draw your attention to a few big things that are coming up. The next big deal here is Saturday night, the 23rd. We're doing a murder theater production, Murder in the House of Ivy. We're expecting to have 125 people. There's going to be food and drink and drama. You get to participate. Guess who did it? So talk to Shannon. You can sign up online. You can email. You can call. But we'd love to have your reservations. It's only $25. And I really commend the fabulous St. Lawrence County Arts Council. They have a new event on the 30th. That's Saturday all day from 10 in the morning, starting here, to 5 o'clock at the Roland Gibson Gallery. It's called the Gallery Hop. There are special events at each of the art museum cultural institutions in this kind of Ogdensburg, Potsdam corridor. And they are St. Lawrence County Arts Gallery, Frederic Remington Art Museum, the Montpelier Gallery at OFA, where kids work, St. Lawrence County Historical Association, the Brush Gallery, Potsdam Museum, and the Roland Gibson Gallery. So you get something special at each of these. You don't have to go to all of them. I really encourage you to go to one or two, maybe something that you haven't done before. But of course, I really want you to come here. So that is, we are the first stop. You can find more about this on our Facebook page, their Facebook page, anybody's website. But cool, so please do. And I know that most of you are members in good stead of the Frederic Remington Art Museum, and I thank you deeply. If you're not, please sign up soon, because you will be getting the Art of Dining summer program brochure soon, if you remember. So our guest today, John Elwood Cook, is one of the very first artists to participate in our juried shows in 2001, and it seems like last week, with a lovely assemblage. I'd never heard of him, and boom, he's been a regular here in our exhibits ever since. Not always, but pretty regularly. And
Except when I got rejected.
and he's also juried for us. You never know. And John is a songwriter, but not a performer. He's a genuine article descended from people that he documents in his assemblages, in his associated songs, and he's willing, very reluctantly for the second time, graciously, to do today's program for us, where he will sing and play and make sense of it all and make us feel a renewed sense of place on the river. Does anyone, if I urgently forgotten anything important? No. Okay. Could we have a round of applause for
Don't applaud too soon. I gave a history of my family the last time I was up here. I don't know how many people were here before, but I'm not going to run into a lot of details because I ran out of time last time. And I tend to get a little verbose on certain subjects. These paintings and my songs will be a continuation of the art-music relationship that I've tried to put together. In other words, what I do in many things is I will correlate a song written by or for or about one of the pieces that I've done. Now, a lot of these pieces up here are fish, and everything's fish related. My family's been up on the St. Lawrence River since the American Revolution. They were Tories. They came up and settled in Canada. In fact, they ran them out of the United States, as a matter of fact. They came up and settled in Canada, and ever since the American Revolution, they've made their living in one format or another, sometimes legally, sometimes questionably. But they made their living off the river in one way or another. So a lot of this stuff, a lot of the interest that I took in things, I would never, like 50 years ago, I would never said I'd be standing here and presenting a whole series of fishhead paintings. I mean, the guidance counselor didn't say, "What would you like to do in your life, John?" And I would say, "Well, I was kind of thinking fish heads." And about that time, he closed the folder. My father was very enthusiastic about it. When I told my father I wanted to be an artist, I guess it was always obvious because when I was a kid, I started playing the guitar and I started drawing. But my father was never particularly for it. He was a riverman and he was a tough guy. And his famous quote to me when I said I wanted to be an artist, he said, "Well, John, no percentage of being a screwball." And in a sense, he's right. Because here I am 50 years later, standing in front of a group with a bunch of stony fish eyes and having to explain the correlation. And I mean, it's not everyone that sets out to be a fish head painter. So it's a process. So what I'm going to have to try to do briefly here today is just explain the correlation between my paintings and my songs. Now, some songs will have a direct correlation. In other words, I'll have a picture that I've done, and I'll write a song off the picture. And some will stand on their own, and some will be tales of characters that I knew. I've been up here ever since birth, and I've met a lot of people on the river. And I feel it's my obligation. I feel it's my obligation to try to document as much as passing river life as I can. And so what I will do with some of the songs is describe characters that I've known and how I've known them and how they relate. And then I would say, just briefly, before I get started here and get too long-winded on this, the process of doing, these are called stylizations. They're obviously not completely representational ideas or representations of fish. Stylization means that you condense things. You take the idea, this is like an organic stylization. You take the heighten the contrast, play with the textures, and what you end up with is something, I guess you could prepared analogy of it to a fishing lure. A fishing lure would be a stylization of fish. And a lot of my paintings, even though they are recognizable as subjects, will be stylizations. And this is kind of an organic stylization. This one, on the other hand, is a more geometric stylization. So what you have here, again, you take the subject, you heighten the contrast, and you make it so that you bring out certain areas. The colors are played off against each other. Everything is simplified. But if you can think of this, and if you've ever seen the old fishing lures, this is basically the same process. Now, the same thing is true when you write a song. It's in a sense a stylization, because you have to have a melody. You come up with a melody, and then you have to fit the words to the melody. But the main point is you have to condense it, and you have to have it in a format that's simple, that's understandable, and that's direct. So, my father was born on the St. Lawrence, over on a point over on called Chisholm's Point. It was in 1908, and it was in March. And it was a pretty cold day, and he had five siblings. It was a very modest home, and my father used to talk a lot. He's trying to get back at me now. My father used to talk about sleeping with their feet in the face, and I always thought that was kind of a joke, you know. But they had 6 kids, and they had a small house, and they spent a lot of time sleeping with feet in the face. So, the main thing my family always did, they were guides, all the way back. They were called oarsmen in the old days. They were guides. My grandfather had a convenience boat that he toured people around the islands. My grandfather ran Sugar Island for the American Canoe Association back in the early 1800s. In fact, I have some postcards of him and his boat from about 1912. Now, when Prohibition came around, it said that the Cooks got into the rum run too, although my father would never admit it. And the other option was the gill net, which what they do is they used to take skiffs out at night with lanterns and pull in the gill nets and run the gill nets. And there was a famous quote, which again doesn't reflect particularly well on the Cooks, but they said to the game warden, "If you show up around here at night, you're going to end up with your feet sticking up out of the marsh." So, the history books have defined this as an extremely rough bunch from outside of Gananoque, given to illegal nets, fishing out of season, and other infamous practices. I particularly have been fond of other infamous practices. But what they all had in common is that they loved the river, and everybody appreciated the river, and that was passed down to me, and I love the river. So the first time I'm gonna do doesn't really have a painting involved in it, but I'm just gonna give the sort of the general feeling of what the river life was like. The song is called Mainstream, and it's about essentially my father, and essentially about my feeling of the river. And it's also supposedly relatively easy to play, so I'm going to try to start off with something I don't screw up completely. So. My old man was born on a blue March day. When picked up and the ice left the bay. Took him to the window, opened up a crack. He looked out on the river and he never looked back. If the river is eternal, it's the same with love. Cold water deep in the sky above, and the keeper of life and the keeper of dreams run together in the mainstream. And the keeper of life and the keeper of dreams run together in the mainstream. Now, don't throw in a mandolin here, you can throw in a violin. All my songs are pretty much basic, and they're meant to be played with other instruments. My old man was born on a blue March day, and the wind picked up and the ice left the bay. Took him to the window, opened up a crack, looked out down the river, and he never looked back. Looked out down the river, and he never looked back. If the river is eternal, it's the same with love. Cold water deep and the sky above, and the keeper of life and the keeper of dreams run together in the mainstream. And the keeper of life and the keeper of dreams run together in the mainstream. Now, the next song, I will try to correlate one of my pieces to the song. And this is kind of a story song, and this is probably easier to understand because some of my stuff tends to be a little abstract, and I can't get into the details on all of that. But this one is fairly obvious. This is called Uncle Don's Daredevils, and the story behind it, I'll have to stand up here and show it to you because it's kind of hard to see. But this was the story. This is a watercolor painting of old daredevils, and old daredevils are the classic North Country lure. Everybody's used them. Everybody that fished for pike, everybody that fished for muskie, even bass, always use the daredevil. And this particular batch of daredevils were owned by a guy named Uncle Don. He wasn't my uncle, but he was an uncle of a friend of mine. And he was a big burly character. In fact, he was sort of like a Dickens guy. You know, Mr. McCarver, he could have been any one of the Dickens of the eccentric Dickens characters. He was a big burly guy, and he was in World War I. He lied about his age, and he was in the trench at 14. So we're talking about a tough dude here. I mean, he was the kind of guy. He had a little fishing camp, and I used to walk by that camp every day because I had my boat down. I kept my boat down in the bay near where he was. And he was always sitting in the fishing camp during the day. And I'd go by and he'd go, "Johnny!" You know. And of course, I was kind of afraid of him, actually. and I'd walk in, and I never saw the guy directly, because I always had to kind of look around the beer bottle, you know, to see him there. But he had two main interests in life at that point: in fishing, and that wasn't any particular order. But he anyway, he had a big tackle box, and he always went out with a big tackle box, and he came back with droves of fish. And I think those were the days before boating while intoxicated. Because he tended to bring along, you know, like a half a case of beer when he went out. But he always came back with something. Now, after he died, my friend inherited his place, and she also inherited the fishing tackle box. So I don't know if you can see this, but it's a fairly standard composition. So what I did was I said, you know, I'd like to do something to commemorate Uncle Don, and I'd like to, you know, make a painting of some of his lures. So I went through the lures. I'm an antique dealer, and I knew all about lures, and there's nothing very valuable in there. It was all sort of sentimental stuff. So what I did was I made an arrangement of the daredevils. It's just a standard artistic arrangement: positive, negative, and opposite colors, that sort of thing. And so I made the painting. And then years ago, or a few years ago, I was going to show the painting up here at the Remington. And I also like to have a song that went along with it. So I thought about it, and I thought how nice it was, you know, and when actually how nice it was of them to leave the fishing tackle box and have it for the next generation. So that's what the song is about. It's called Uncle Don's Daredevils. And the song, I think it'll be fairly obvious when you find it here. So this is what I wrote. I may have to abbreviate some of these songs because I'm already shooting the breeze here too long, but I think you get the idea from it. They're kind of rusty now, them old red and whites. Took a lot of muskies and it took a lot of stripes. Uncle Don's daredevils caught the big ones that he caught, and he left them here for us in his old tackle box. Uncle Don's daredevils caught the big ones that he caught, and he left them here for us in his old tackle box. Old tackle box, his old tackle box. Uncle Don's daredevils caught the big ones that he caught. Now it's a good day to go fishing, give them red and whites a shot. If Uncle Don could be here with us now, he'd be showing us the spots. When Uncle Don died, he left his tackle box in mine. It was us catching something Uncle Don had in mind. Uncle Don's daredevils caught the big ones that he caught, and he left him here for us in his old tackle box. Now he be talking musky, he be talking north and white. When Uncle Don got serious, he grabbed a red and a white. Now we're heading out on the river to give them red and whites a shot. We're carrying with us Uncle Don's old tackle box. Old tackle boxes, old tackle box. Uncle Don's daredevil caught the big ones that he caught. His old tackle box, his old tackle box. Uncle Don's daredevils caught the big ones that he caught. Now I consider that to be kind of a portrait song, you know, and the painting that relates to it. So that's the introduction to the type of idea where I do a painting and then relate the song to it. Now, my father always said, anybody that spends any time on the river and looks out on the river will eventually become river struck. And that's the idea of the next song. I always thought that was a very poetic idea. And the next song that I would do is about river struck. It's called River Struck, and it relates to this piece back here. Now this is a different type of piece. This is a collage, which means this is made from old maps, and it's made from old photographs. Everything here is an antique. So what I'm trying to do when I create this type of stuff, what I'm trying to do is create a contemporary art piece. In other words, a collage, something that that relates to contemporary art. But I'm trying to do that. But I did carve the fish and painted it much like I did the painting, these paintings. And again, it's a stylization, what I explained before. I did carve the fish, And the idea is that it conveys, you know, the feeling of the river without spelling it out like you would with a scene. So the river struck idea is the idea of the song and the piece together. If I had my way, I'd swim to the bottom. I'd take to the river like a diving duck. I'm not a swimmer, I know, and I have not forgotten. But I don't care, 'cause I'm river struck. River struck in the morning, maybe more like early afternoon. River struck in the evening when I'm more or less in tune. Hey, I don't worry if I'm feeling down on my luck. There's a big river out there rolling, and I'm river struck. I'm river struck. River struck drifting nowhere with no railroads of my own. River struck drifting nowhere with no real way back home. Hey, I don't worry if I'm feeling down on my luck. There's a big river out there rolling, and I'm river struck. I'm river struck. River struck in a windy blue sailboat afternoon. River struck with the white clouds rolling high above me and you. Hey, I don't worry if I'm feeling down on my luck. There's a big river out there rolling, and I'm river struck. I'm river struck. I'm river struck. This is I did this song last time, and I haven't played it some time, but it's about Frederic Remington. I figured I better do it again, because Frederic Remington might be around here. Now, I don't know if he'd be pleased with it or not, but the idea of the song is that you may have noticed out, you know, one of the displays out there that Frederic Remington always wanted to return. He said he was sorry that he left his North Country home, even though he went out west and did all those fabulous things. So this song is about Frederic Remington's longing to return to the North Country where he was born. And, you know, in my opinion, if he had lived, not that my opinion matters, but if he had lived, he would have become the great American Impressionist, because he was just moving into that area, and he was doing paintings. His studio there, Elwood Cook, and he was doing a lot of work around here with the Impressionistic style. But anyway, this song is called Chippewa Bay because that's where his studio was. And I'll try to get through this one. This is I haven't played this for a while. I haven't played it actually since the last time I was here. but forgive me, Frederic. But it's like you have to need a little melody and maybe put a mandolin in it. Chippewa Bay is a part of me, part of eternity, a painted scene. And though I travel west, the places I love the best return and dream. In my North Country home, I never felt alone. Birds and trees and the memories of the places I've grown to know. I was raised up where the great North River rolls. And at the ending of a perfect day, the cobalt blue turns gray. Off Chippewa Bay, off Chippewa Bay, off Chippewa Bay, the cobalt blue turns gray. Off Chippewa Bay. Chippewa Bay, the northern light, the stars of a summer night, the rainbow's end. In my rush-ton canoe, I paddle the current through the river bend. In my North Country home, I never felt alone. Birds and trees and the memories of the places I've grown to know. I was raised up where the great North River rolls. At the ending of a perfect day, the cobalt blue turns gray. Off Chippewa Bay, off Chippewa Bay, off Chippewa Bay, the cobalt blue turns gray. Off Chippewa Bay. Off Chippewa Bay, the cobalt blue turns gray. Off Chippewa Bay. Off Chippewa Bay, the cobalt blue turns gray. Off Chippewa Bay. Thank you, Frederic. I had a beer in there with Frederic, one of the openings. I didn't tell him about the song. Really, maybe a little steam coming out of his head there, I don't know. Now, I did a song called Woody's Bait and Tackle last night, and it was fairly popular, so I'll try this one again. This is the only two songs I'm going to do. I'll explain who Woody is. Woody's the last great one-man bait operation on Louisiana. He's a dying breed. I mean, there are not going to be very many more Woodies. It's all taken over now by corporations, catalogs, but it's just as far as Woody is the last of the great bait operations, and you get personal service. What you do, I was telling the story last time, what you do when you go to Woody's, his man there comes out, the guy that sells worms, or Woody does it himself, and when he gets the worms out of the case, he has the top on the styrofoam piece. He'll take the worms out and he'll walk over to you. He'll stick them in your face. Now that's to show you that there's no dead soldiers in there. You know? It's to show you that what you're getting is all good. Now to me, that is one of the coolest North Country moves. And I was very pleased to see this time Woody's still in operation. At that time he had two black dogs. This time he's got 5 black dogs. But I was very pleased because there was a young man working in there, and I'm thinking, well, he's just going to get him out of the cooler, and hand me the money. No, he got the worms out, and stuck them in my face, and I thought the Woody tradition carries on. So I feel obliged to in some way document what Woody's being tackled, because it won't be there forever, and then there'll be another. There'll never be another. So that's what this song is about. Just a short song. Woody's been tackled by the side of the road. Woody's been tackled by the side of the road. Well, it started off kind of small, but how it grew. Growing after the big one. Woody's got worms, Woody's got leeches. Crabs too in his breeches. No, not really. Woody's got worms. Growing after the big one. Woody's live bait is certified. You won't need no fishing guide. You'll be a hero in the great outside. Woody's got wigglers, Woody's got crawlers, canopies for all you smallers. You be glad you stepped inside. Woody's been tackled by the side of the road. Woody's been tackled by the side of the road. Come on in, boys, and take out a load. Going after the big one. Woody. Now Woody's got 2 dogs that both is black, and Woody's got 2 dogs that both is black, and them 2 dogs, they got Woody's back. They're a couple of good dogs. Woody's live bait is not dead. They'll be wiggling and well fed. Woody's live bait won't die in worm bed. Woody's got worms making trials. He fills his hands and he smiles because Woody's messing with your head. Woody's been tackled by the side of the road. Come on in, boys, and take out a load. We're going after the big ones, Woody. Mommy, that man smells like a fish. Mommy, that man smells like a fish. Well, that's because Woody's a fisherman, dear. It's good to know that Woody's still alive and well, and he's still carrying on the tradition. Now this next song is a lament. And I'm just going to change the guitar here, play the lament on the mark. Now, I don't mean to bum people out with this, but every artist, I think, wants to challenge themselves. And writing a lament, which is a sad song, obviously, is a hard thing to do. And, you know, writing comedic songs isn't all that easy, but writing a lament is a hard thing to do. And it's about kind of about my feeling of the river. It's called The Riverman's Lament. And it's, well, as I say, it's a sad song. And what I will try to do here is play it out of the mark. This is sort of my feeling about the river, you know. Timeless now the river stands a pine against the sky. Timeless now the old men around the campfire telling a lie. My father is before him, rode for miles across Silver Bay, against the current pulling. Farewell to old and better days, for those who fear tomorrow and curse the way the breeze has blown, for those embracing sorrow, standing on the shore alone, for those who love the river and who sought in vain what might have been the white caps off grindstone rolling in an August wind. Bring my soul back home. Bring my soul back home. There's a place and time, and in my mind, where I'm eternal, and those years of woe and the tears that flow down the big river to the sea. There's a place and time, and in my mind, where I'm eternal, with the white caps rolling, eternally free. So it's farewell to the western sky, to the sunsets and to the years gone by, and it's farewell to the big river as she rolls to the sea. My father is before him, rode for miles across Silver Bays, against the current pulling, eternally free. For those who fear tomorrow and curse the way the breeze has blown, for those embracing sorrow, standing on the shore alone, and for those who love the river and who sought in vain what might have been the white caps of grindstone rolling in an August wind. Bring my soul back home. Bring my soul back home. Bring my soul back home. Thank you. Now, according to my watch, Laura, how much time do I have here?
Well, I'd say 12 minutes including questions.
Oh, well,
Because the tea is at 3 and it's 2:48.
okay. All right. What I'm going to do, I don't know if I have I had a trilogy written here. Every artist wants to write a trilogy. But no, I won't do the trilogy because it takes too long. It's about bullheads.
Oh.
I can abbreviate the song. This time of year, it's what's more appropriate than the bullhead? All right, we'll go. Okay, so the first song is a song called "Low Water." But you've been bullhead fishing in the spring, you go traipsing down into the swamp or down into the marsh, land there, and get your feet all wet. So this is a description basically of the low water idea. Early in the evening, grabbed a reel and a rod, stepped out back in a pea soup fog. It was me and old Harry on a rotted out log, bullhead fishing in a cattail bog low. Low water, low, low, low water. Hell, you gotta be a river rat to live out here. Fatback sandwiches and Tennessee beer. I said low. Low water. This is meant to be like an instrumental song where the fiddle comes in. So if you want to have a bullhead sizzling in a pan, you gotta have a line with a hook on the end. You gotta have crawlers wiggling in the can. You gotta like a smell of the fisherman. Low, low water. I said low water. Hell, you gotta be a river rat to live out here. Fatback sandwiches and Tennessee beer. Now that's an abbreviation of the song, but you get the idea. Low water. Catch. A couple more verses to it. Now, the next song is probably the dread song of the North Country. It's when you come home and you got a big pile full of fish, and it's fish skinning time. Well, that's about time them old boys started walking down the road. I remember I took a guy out fishing. This short story, I took a guy out fishing. He didn't know how to fish. We're out in the shoals fishing for bass. Not that man, this is about bullhead. And I said, you gotta cast the thing up. I said, you know how to fish? He's a big guy from Nova Scotia. Oh yes, oh John, I know how to fish. I said, okay. So I said, you gotta cast up here. You gotta let them drift down, and that's where the fish are. So he gets out a bobber. I said, well, you can't fish with a bobber here because it's a swift current and there's weeds all over the place. So you're going to have a bobber and they get down there. So anyway, I taught him how to fish, and we got a whole ton of fish and came back. So we get there, there's a stringer full of them in this bucket, and I said, he says to me, well, gets out of the boat, well, John, I'll be seeing you. I said, yeah, you're going to be seeing me, and in fact, in about 5 minutes. He said, well, I'm going up and get a beer. And I said, well, you can bring the beer back down because we're going to be cleaning some fish. He said, I don't know how. I said, the lucky thing is, for you today, I'm a teacher. And I'm going to teach you how. So anyway, this song is about that. It's called Fish Skin. Well, they're waiting down there in the bucket by the water. And they're waiting down there and string her off the pier. And it's about this time them old boys start walking down the road. It's about them time this old boy disappeared. Fish skinning time. Don't be so lazy. Skinning time. Don't say, hey, I'll go get some beer. Skinning time. Don't tell me maybe when the bucket's full of bullhead. Fish skinning time is here. Fish skinning time. So I got my knife all sharpened up on the whetstone, and I got my feet wet slipping off the dock. It's about this time the old boys start to hear a call from home, and there sure is a lot of what it is we got. Fish skinning time, don't be so lazy. Skinning time, don't say, hey, I'll go get some beer. Skinning time, don't tell me maybe when the bucket's full of bullhead. Fish skinning time is here. Fish skinning time. I've been staring back at stony fish eye. I've been fumbling till my fingers start to fade. And the flies around me, they all know that smell don't tell no lies. And the flies, the only one who ain't afraid. Fish skinning time, be so lazy. Skinning time, don't say, hey, I'll go get some beer. Skinning time, don't tell me maybe when the bucket's full of bullhead. Fish skinning time is here. Fish skinning time, skinning time. When the bucket's full of bullhead, fish skinning time is here. Now the third thing is called the bullhead dinner, or popularly known as the bullhead feed, and that's a quintessential rite of spring. I mean, you drive any place, you see some crudely hewn sign, you see some better made signs, but everybody's got a bullhead dinner going. So this song kind of sums up it's a little bit redundant in that it tells how you catch them, but the main thing is the idea of the bullhead dinner. Way down in the bottom of the oak tar pond, down in the bottom of the bay, hooks and sinkers when the night comes on, ain't never gonna catch 'em in a day. Bullhead, bullhead, floating in the pail. Bullhead, bullhead, and 3-ring ale. Losers, winners, saints and sinners, all become a bunch of old fish skinners. Mrs. Patton, Mr. Thinner, well, it's set right down to a bullhead dinner. So if there's a hole in the old rowboat, I guess we'll have to fish from the bank. And if they ain't biting and we give up, oh, we'll tell them that the rowboat sank. Bullhead, bullhead. Big western twist. winners, saints and sinners, all become a bunch of old fish skinners. Mrs. Fine, Mr. Thinner, sat right down to a bullhead dinner. So who's that peeking at me up from the pail, smiling with a big flat head? He's got a beady eye, sawed-off tail. We gotta keep the children fed. Bullhead, bullhead, flip-flopping on the dial. Bullhead, yeah. Time.
We're about time. Do you have closing remarks?
That's pretty much it.
Okay. I regret repeating what John says about himself, that he's not a performer, because clearly he is.
I just happen to be blessed with a bad nervous system, so it's not something that I did perform in my life. When I was younger, but I got over it. I actually write songs, and a lot of people have done my songs, so I prefer to write, and there's not as much pressure. Plus, on Wellesley Island, if you perform, you get an audience maybe of 2 woodchucks and a skunk.
Well, I hope you and Judy will join us for tea.
Certainly.
We have spots at the table.
Okay, great. Hey, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.